Hello again, everyone, and welcome to the Options Mentor. All right, we had another high, all-time high this week, and I have something I'm thinking about here. I got a few things I want to show you. I have an interesting trade that's part speculative and part theta positive, sort of non-directional trade. So let's take a look at where we're at here. And first off, let's look at the SPX. So we can see the SPX made an all-time high again. And if we look at the last time it did it, what happened? Boom, 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 down about 100 points in like 4 or 5 sessions. What about the time before? Down the same or more in about 4 or 5 sessions. So we have this habit of not getting we hit an all-time high and seem to back off. That's one. Now, another thing I want to point out to you is that NVIDIA split 10 for 1 Friday after the close. So you can see here already, it's already accounted for here. Now it's trading at 125 a share. So NVIDIA has been responsible for about 40% of the SPX run up this year. I mean, it is a big player along with the other tech stocks. Well, those of you who are familiar with the stock market probably already know what happens in the days following a split. After a stock splits, people often sell some of the shares, sometimes half of them or whatever, but they got these extra shares. NVIDIA is at a high here. So, I mean, the motivation to at least sell some of those, I think, would be pretty high. And not only that, you got 10 shares for every one. So I would say that the likelihood that NVIDIA doesn't drop a little bit over the next few days is very, very slim, because there will be that pressure of people cashing in on some of the shares that they got. So what are we saying here? Well, we're saying I think NVIDIA is probably going to wait on SPX a little bit. And we talked about the SPX, and when it makes an all-time high, it often tapers off pretty quickly, kind of refreshes, goes down. The long of the, in this case, a put, will be trading more into the money, so to speak, than the short. So if you look here, what I did is I went up about 50 points from where we closed. We closed at 53.46. So I went up and bought the 5,400 put, and I sold the 53.90 put. So our long put, the 5,400, is actually, of course, deeper into money because it's a put further up in the market than what we sold. So when you do this, you just have a debit. You don't have any margin in this particular trade because you're buying a 5,400 and selling a 53.90. So what I like about this is you have pretty much defined risk, right? You bought it. Whatever you paid for it, it's generally speaking the most you could ever lose. But what the idea here is I went out in time a little bit. And I think you could go out another expiration if you wanted. But out here July 5th is where I sold it, and then I bought the July 8th. The normal diagonal setup, 3 days wide, the shorts expiring before the long. So it's very similar to a calendar, except these strikes are different, not at the same strike. And what you get for that is, well, we don't care how far down it goes. We make money. And in fact, if we just do a swoosh down here this week and maybe check out 5,300 or a little lower, I'd just cash out of this trade. Just take the money and run. And if we stay here, that's fine. You got theta positive trade here. And then if we go up, well, you really wouldn't have to take any action until probably about 54.10, and you may want to add another complex, or you could consider just closing the trade if we get all the way up there. But unless we get to that area, 54.10 or so, you just sit here and let time decay work for you, or direction if it goes down. So I think this makes a very interesting play here. It's the kind of trade, if you understand it, you know how it works, it's right for you, all those things. I think you could enter something like this really about any time tomorrow. You wouldn't necessarily have to wait till the end of the day. Just all depends on how we open tomorrow. I mean, if we did open for some whatever reason way down, then I might not do this. Like if we open 40, 50 points lower, then I probably wouldn't do this. If we try to run back up, I might consider it. Or if we do run up, let's say we open up tomorrow, well, this will be even better because then we could probably put it on even higher, right? What if we opened at 53.70 tomorrow? Well, you could probably go up to like 54.20 and buy that one and sell the 10, or maybe even 54.30 and sell the 20. So that's what I'm looking at doing. That's what I'm talking about. And you just take this thing off when it runs down. If you get 10% before that, it's hanging around in here, I'd probably take it off too. But you have a lot of time for this to work. But the reason I went out this far in time is not to give it time to work in this instance, but it was because it makes it a little flatter. If you do this nearer term, you can lose money faster. So this looks a lot better the further out you go. So I like this. You could even go out another expiration or two if you like. And now some things to think about other than what I told you about NVIDIA, now split 10 for 1, likely to see some selling this week. We also have a Fed announcement on Wednesday. Of course, no one expects them to do anything, but it'll be about what they say they're going to do in this statement. Plus, there's a press conference with the Fed chair afterwards. So that will probably have influence on the market. But even before that, Wednesday morning, an hour before the market opens, we have the CPI, big inflation number. So that will definitely have an effect on the market. Then we had the Fed announcement the same day. And then the next morning, we get the PPI. But I suspect the PPI will probably be the least of all those three, with the CPI and the Fed announcement and press conference probably having the most effect on the market. But, you know, and if NVIDIA really did sell pretty good because people cashed out, that would certainly have an effect also. So that's my idea for this week. I will most likely, I won't have a video next week. I'm going to be out of town. So I'll be back with you in 2 weeks after this. Please tell your friends about this channel. Hit the subscribe button, hit the comments. I always follow up with those. I talk to people. So if you have a comment, put it in there. Hey, and check out my video descriptions where you can get the links on how to contact me for one-on-one mentoring, and also all the stuff I do at airmer.com. Every day you can be over there with me. Check out those links, see what that's about. I do appreciate you guys being here and all your support. Have a great trading week. I'll talk with you in a couple weeks. Have a good day. Bye-bye.